He loves the Zeus. He loves the Zeus. Like an eco round, he'll try and bring one in. And to be fair, I kind of get it because, you know, it's a $200 investment. It's a one-shot kill if you're close enough. You don't get any like reward in terms of for killing your opponent, but you do get the gun, right? Like instantly. So it's not gonna be too far away from you. You can pick it up. Go for more. Who knows? Anyways, ladies and gents, life round done. Into Ancient, into our best of three. It's the semi-finals here of the ESL Premiership Autumn 2022 season. It's 1pin on the CT side. It's Viperio's map pick, and it is a best of three to see who is our first grand finalist.
Oh, it's a very exciting day, I think, for both of these two teams. Had a little bit of a break since Monday, which was when the quarterfinal is, but here they are, squaring up a little bit over towards the B side. Only one player to hold the line.
Box. Running in deep, MMS will take first contact. Only spotted the single man, so he's not really going to beckon over a rotation from A. Had he have spotted all three players, it would have been a different story. But now the util barreling towards the site. It's a free plant for Viperio. And all in all, 1pin, I think they're going to play quite relaxed and maybe attempt a retake. Although Artist lurking in middle, Azuru seems to have a rough idea. Those Julies, yes, do hit the mark. A brilliant first frag.
Yeah, nice little pre-fire there to get that down. And now they go in for the retake. One does get traded out. MMS absolutely going off there, getting 3 kills for himself. Now only 2 players left alive for 1pin as they make their way in onto the site. A little bit of tap, tap, tap. Gets one, gets the second as well. But it's Amzuo, the last player left alive. Our player to watch. Can he somehow clutch this one out? No kit on him. He doesn't have time. Can he at least get a few extra frags? Taps the bomb. Oh, does not escape with his life.
Great shot from Giraffe to close the round. But what a three-piece from MMS. I mean, how he finds all three in CT there on his own, I have no clue. But he does do it anyway. Viperio moved forward with a pistol win. Not to mention, obviously, that round, I do believe, was by elimination, not by bomb detonation. Which means less money. Had Giraffe have actually let him survive, he'd have died to the bomb. So would have Azuru, but you actually get $250 extra per player. Probably not going through the minds of the players in the heat of the moment, but there you go. Some tips for you out there if you're feeling nerdy about Counter-Strike and wondering could they have done any better financially. Yes, they could have, but it doesn't matter because a pistol win grants rifles, whereas 1pin kind of strapped down to just pistols. It's Deagles and 5.7s.
Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with this Mac 10 here. That's a potential tip of the spear. The Artist, oh, all right, we've got a little bit of a push in here with the rifles, and of course MMS is going to get that first kill of the round. Dox goes down, and, well, to be expected, on a pistol round still for 1pin, it's going to be a tough one.
Well, they're going to save. It's fairly obvious, right? You've got armor, you've got no kits. Sure, it's a little bit of util that you could work with, but you're never going to favor a scenario for 1pin like this, so you just keep the armor, barrel it into the next. You don't lose out by saving any of these weapons. You just improve your chances of doing more damage in the next round. So, making total sense for Viperio, because it's a more rifle-heavy buy. They're going to respect that and just play for their own lives. Understandably so. Bomb will detonate. It'll be a second on the board for Viperio. But, of course, 1pin, as you can see, 4 players will keep their weapons. And, in turn, that could get pretty scary. Viperio, if they walk into the wrong crosshairs at the wrong times, it can get very, very expensive.
Artist attempting to hunt someone down. Not going to have enough time to find anything. That would have been very interesting. But as you said, right, saving a lot of those weapons here into the next round. Viperio find themselves on 2, and that is a healthy bonus for this squad. They come into this basically with everything they had into the last. So next to 0 spend, they're going to start building up that nice little economic momentum that we talk about so often. And of course, 1pin having just, I suppose you could call it, they've saved. So a little bit of weaponry available for them, but not terribly much. This should be another kind of one and done round.
Should be. Wonder if 1pin are going to put out the roadblocks and the stop signs and kind of force Viperio into error. MMS just going to make the entry out towards the ace, or the B side, excuse me. Ping, oh, nearly caught out. There's an AK picked up though, Christian. Needed to be a little more accurate, but the Mac 10 will best him. 3v4. This is what I was talking about, right? Those pistols, although they don't look menacing, if you put them in the right spots at the right times, rounds definitely can turn on their heads. 4v3, bomb still yet to go down. Actually stranded in ramp. Artist is looking for a way in. A flashbang towards long will give him some presence, not to mention flank from Giraffe. Well, he's ended 1 life, but now boxing in the remaining 2. As you said, this was a Viperio round to win, and they will get it, but there's been a little bit of pushback here from 1pin. Azuru does find a second just before the round ends, and so, you know, respectful for both teams. Viperio making a third, but 1pin at least they're going to add some expense here for the T side.
100%. Not the worst round possible for one pin, managing to get 2 kills of their own. It won't do terribly much short term, but in the long term, it could be a difference maker. And now into this round, of course, they're going to be able to put a little bit of a spend on as well. So at least they'll come into this round with something more to play with. AWP does come out on both sides, so we could potentially see that battle.
Certainly. I'm here for it as well. Nade dropped in. Azu, got to be careful. Let's take a little bit of damage to the nades in middle here, but notice how one pin haven't backed down from this control. Instead, they wanted to force the pressure towards middle. If there's anyone towards B, they have to pay extra attention of a mid flank. And, well, obviously they're grouped up towards A, so it doesn't really make much of a difference to their game plan. Certainly gives one pin a little more information that nothing early mid, well, that means they've probably stacked 3 towards B or 3 towards A. In this case, not as many, but they'll have the right idea because it's a double donut setup, not to mention Shine's got an AWP in Temple. So it is a bit of an A stack here from the CT side.
Nice slow tempo from Viperio as well, and we're seeing a lot of that utility come out over towards the A site, but of course Bomb hasn't actually made its way over just yet, and one pin don't look to be falling for any sort of a fake here. They are keeping their eyes open at every cross, see if they can catch someone moving through, and this is really good control from one pin, all things considered. Viperio gonna struggle to find a way in without getting spotted.
Leaf be the first man to make contact. Giraffe and Artist both with kills. At least Azu can get a single kill to kind of bring the numbers somewhat down for Viperio, but yet again, a one-pin disadvantage, a bomb plant coming out from Gizmy. And if I'm honest, one pin will probably call this round off. I don't think they'll attempt it. MMS up close. I mean, if they stay any longer, this AK could very quickly take another gun out of the one pin hands. Just waiting now to see what the next move is. Ultimately, I don't see it being a good one here for one pin. They are giving it a whirl. Ping spotted out, but a flank from behind. 1-2. MMS tries to continue the transfer, but information on a third gives Ping a chance to penalise. It's 4-0, and one pin don't get away with any weapons at the end of that round.
That was such a clean execute from Viperio, slowing down the pace considerably, slowly edging towards that donut position. The wide swing here, this one comes through, and unfortunately that first kill just cannot come through for one pin. As you mentioned, they did manage to get one trade off, but Viperio at that point in full control of the site. They shut everyone down, and one pin just can't respond. The lurk as well is absolutely nasty, so unfortunately one pin back down onto a very, very broken buy here, and taking a very aggressive stance into mid. Going to try and take as many out with them as they can.
Docs sitting pretty with the Deagle.
Okay.
Finds Ping. Brilliant shot. See, now MMS thinking, hold on a sec, I don't particularly want to be facing into the same fate as my teammate. Gives me just going for a bit of a wall bang. That M4A1S used as penetration through the wall between the B ramp and site. Giraffe able to put the numbers back in the favour. Shine goes for a Zeus pre-fire. I respect it. I respect it. But hey, you said it right. There was going to be Zeuses from Viperio. The first Zeus drawn out is from one pin. Christian eventually falls to the A1S. Shine gets an upgrade. Take him down. And, well, there you have it, right? As expected, this is just a round to go Viperio's way. 5-0, a T-side start that's already put up the average scoreline. Brilliant. Yeah. Now, how many more can they get?
Yeah, I mean, the potential snowball from winning the pistol can be so deadly, and then you add on to that the fact that it is a very strong team. That is, of course, why they're here in our semi-final. Not a terrible round from one pin, all things considered, though. Managing to get 2 down, slowly trying to chip away at that economy, but when you take a look at how much cash Viperio have after 5 round wins, and most of them being reasonably clean, yeah, they're fine. They're not worried. One pin now have an opportunity to buy in once again. And, yeah, gonna need to find some answers here to what Viperio are throwing at them. I'm maybe expecting a tack timeout to come out at some point because they seem a little lost.
Need to start seeing rounds go the one pin way. Not ideal that they're 5 rounds to the deficit. Especially on the CT side, one that feels so prevalent, so powerful. In current day and age, it is the most CT-sided map statistically on HLTV, so There you go. For those that are like, oh, you know, there's another one out there that's going to be. No, it is Ancient that has the highest percentage. And the T sides, they're not phased by it. MMS's double. Yet again, it's, you know, a fair few kills towards B, but it's one that puts 1pin a step behind. Fortunately, Azuru to bring it back, and in fact, in their favour, 1pin rely on the young gun. He delivers, but it's still an A push and a vacant site and a free plant for Gizmi, which goes towards CT. An Artist directed that way with the AWP. Gizmi will follow suit. This gets scary for 1pin because they won't have a clue where these last two players are.
Ooh. Yeah, this retake has to be perfect, and having used so much of their utility early on, it could be incredibly difficult. 2 flashes and an HE just to try and make something happen here. Oh, dry peaks the AWP. You hate to see it. That's going to be Artist evening out the numbers here and taking a little bit more of an aggressive push as Gizmi will swing out into the spawn. Gets instantly traded back, however. Down to the last little bit of HP. Artist, you madman. Well, there you go. Clutching out the round for Viperio.
I mean, brilliantly played from Artist. Shine had the right idea. He even went for a pre-fire. I'm not too sure if he spotted the arm or not. Either way, he took the fight. But the fact that Artist swings amidst the gunfire with the Tech 9 that pulls all the way to the left-hand side. Artist just beams him down. Tech 9, no worries. 6-0 Viperio lead. And so a wacky veto that we were talking about. The start is Ancient, and the start is great for Viperio.
Poor 1pin back down onto this broken buy. Still waiting for that tack timeout. They used so much utility early on. They'll get the first kill of the round here. Oh my god, Azuu. Okay, gets a little bit more than I think Viperio bargained for. And another one to come through from Leaf. This is absurd.
Look at Shine, he's not spotted. Deagle finds another.
shots.
Viperio walk into the stack. It's a Giraffe 1v4. But he's already done the hard part in finding 2. Now it's just about isolating these fights. Dogs will move forward towards middle and through Donut to join his teammate. But 1:15 to work with. This is not impossible for Giraffe. This is really, really doable. And the longer he sits here, the more 1pin will think about picking up these weapons. A swing out to 3rd kill from Giraffe. A 1v4, down to 1. It's Dogs against him, and still a minute to spew on. He's waiting, reloads the AK. Dogs moving forward. Messi spray. Dogs will hold his nerve. 1 on the board for 1pin. Nearly the throw of the century, though.
Wow, exceptional play there from 1pin. Kind of absurd to get that much value. Azuu, right, on that boosted up box position. You don't think he's going to be able to get 2 kills there. I mean, the first one, sure, why not? But how does the trade take so long to come through? And that box at the back of sight that just does not get checked by Viperio, that's a bit of a misplay. And 1pin take full advantage of that. A great round win for them. Viperio still, of course, going to be able to buy into this, and 1pin are going to need a whole hell of a lot more than that. And that's a good way to start up the follow-up round.
The fact that Leaf blinds himself and still ends up getting the frag. Gizmi thinks he's got him bested. Turns back around, though. The AWP on the angle. Shine versus Artist. A more prevalent engagement. One that I was looking forward to personally. Artist, I feel like, probably the man with the most experience on this Viperio team. I mean, hasn't really been around the block too much longer than the likes of Giraffe. But again, sort of the beacon of knowledge, I feel like, for both teams comes in Artist and Shine. One's IGL, one's just Apex Rebels experience. This time, it's the Rebel that beats him in that initial engagement. Leaf just playing on the pixel angle, gets the information on a bit of a mid play. So Azuu now drops in towards an eco. Has himself some serious damage. Not quite the kill, but again, it's a bait and switch. The bomb's coughed up in towards the jaws of sight. Sure, there's a trade, 2v4. Viperio, they might be able to squeeze out the extra money, but I really don't see this round going their way.
I've learnt not to count them out just yet. 1pin have had a good start to the... Oh, a beautiful flash comes through. Christian's going to get 1 Giraffe in a 1 versus 3 situation. Oh, bomb gets tapped, but... There you go, pros don't fake. Sometimes they do. Shine's gonna get the last kill of the round there, and fantastic round here from 1pin. And what I really liked about this one is, like, a couple rounds back, their previous full buy, they yeeted out all of their utility very early on. Viperio playing a super slow game, and when it came to the late round, they had nothing left. This one, Viperio take a slightly faster approach. This allows 1pin to hold on to some of that util, and it comes in clutch towards the end.
There's a second on the board for 1pin. Very, very slow out of the gates, but now they're out the gates. They are there swinging. Molly towards the middle cubby. Gizmeat swings behind the Molotov. A bit of a miscall maybe from Leaf. Christian will fall. And Viperio on a knife's edge financially, but they are managing to make it work. Giraffe boosted over the top of the smoke. He'll spot Azu going up in towards the cave position. It's Shine left here in the clutch. 1v4. As soon as he pulls the trigger on the first, I was going to say he'll find the frag. It takes him a second attempt to find it. But now they know that the AWP's towards B. They'll pick up the bomb, head back towards A. And Shine is in no position to go for this round. An AWP save is critical to the finances of OnePin. As, ring around the rosies through the smoke here. Shine's just going to escape through cave under the nose of the MAC-10 of Ping. Ultimately, though, I don't think Viperio are going to care all too much because this is an important round to win. And in an ideal world, they need to keep as many weapons as they can.
Absolutely. If they could find something for Ping to pick up, that would also... Oh, no. Oh, he's traded into a rifle. Can he get this kill in Donut? Didn't spot the player. So he's going to start moving in towards CT spawn. See if he can maybe spot... I don't think he goes for the play. Surely not. Surely he just goes for exits.
Well, no, he's obviously going to go for it if he's dropped the AWP. I mean, he'll run back and get the AWP at the end of the round, maybe. But I'm just as confused as you are. I mean, I thought Shine was just going to post up and save, right? I thought that was the plan. Instead, he was having a good look. Well, I guess that's maybe why he switched out to the M4, because he wanted the first frag. He would have heard Ping, and there you go, a second kill. Picks the AWP back up. Very well played from Shine. I mean, I was second guessing it. I think we both were, in fact, just saying, like, is he actually really going for it in this scenario? Picks up the M4. We're like, all right, I mean, give it your best effort. Waited way too long to go for it, but he does manage to escape with 2 kills and then re-picks up the AWP. So it's not a terrible result here, but OnePin, obviously, the denominating factor of this round is that they lost the 7th. It's 7-2 to OnePin here, or to Viperio here on the T side.
Yeah, I mean, that's devastating for OnePin because, of course, when we do swap sides, that's going to make it so much more difficult on their own T side. But we are finally seeing that TAC timeout come out. Too little, too late? I guess we'll find out. Unfortunately, it is going to be another broken buy. Not so bad as previously when it was just upgraded pistols. At least there is a bit of firepower to back it up. And, of course, the saved AWP as well. But Viperio also not in a perfect position. They should be able to buy in quite nicely into this one, but if OnePin pull it through, there is potential for a little bit of a snowball here, and of course this round is going to be pivotal to determining if OnePin are actually going to be able to make that happen.
Round 10. OnePin financially same boat as Viperio, scoreline's sake. Need to start winning rounds and building up some balance of their own. So it is a massive deficit to work against, not to mention Viperio have done more than enough here on their T side to say that they're comfortable. I mean, the maximum OnePin at this point can get is 8. Statistically, that is... Well, I mean, obviously it's one of the worst scorelines that you can come out with on Ancient, but... Accountability held for. Viperio want to step things up, go for a play towards B. Dogs does very well to get away with a double. Christian making it a third. A Molotov that goes behind into default. Going to try and force out the planter, but this gives me good timing to swing. And now, Azuru, stuck between a rock and a hard place, has to take a fight and nails the shot on Gizme. All down to Artist in the clutch. The AWP up for the T side, but he's got a rifle in his hands in this round. A smoke that's keeping him alive, but as it starts to fade, Azuru on the other side doesn't spot him out. There's your first. Artist doesn't expect the second swing from Cave, and it'll be OnePin up to a third. But again, a narrow round, one that is very costly for a CT side.
I needed to get the point on the board at the very least. And again, these small misplays, OnePin, you got 2 players pushing in from the CT side. No one's really checking that further angle, so the swing comes through here from Viperio, and that's going to get that first round. And it nearly cost them dearly. Thankfully, when you have 2 players swinging from the same angle there, Viperio's not expecting that, so turn away, get caught out, and at least OnePin do come out on top of that one. And crucially, Viperio's economy is finally just about broken, so this is a perfect opportunity. Oh my goodness, no shot. Gizme, you mad lad, just rushes straight through into mid. He knows what OnePin do. They throw out a bit of util and back off, and he just chases it.
I mean, you got to go for something fast with a MAC-10. I'm surprised the pace wasn't picked up off the back of it, but now OnePin have had time to recalibrate, and the defense is held pretty good. Leaf, a double. Dots will find 2 as well, and OnePin up to a 4th from this deficit. I mean, still doesn't look too good here for OnePin, but it's salvageable. I think they'll know that as well. Statistically, only 13% of games won come from this scoreline in 1pin's position. And that's not just obviously for 1pin, that's the entirety of HLTV itself. So a 13% chance 1pin have of winning from this position.
Is that a thing you know, or did you look that up?
Looked it up.
Because if that... Okay,
No,
I was going to say, if that's just a thing
yeah.
you know, like, that's impressive.
No. Well, I was gonna say that would be insane. Yeah, I did look it up. You know,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
You
lie.
should have lied.
Yeah, I mean, I should have. It'd have been unreal. It'd have been like, what?
Yeah, just quick maths.
Yeah. But then I would have had to have like accounted for every single, game. I would have had to have written it down, every single scoreline, every single round. I'd have been here for months. So. Thank goodness there's websites out there that tell you this information. Otherwise, yeah, no way. Great nade set, by the way.
Ooh.
Ping just dunking the final nade in MMS a second. Considering this is a half buy from Viperio.
Oh my god.
They've walked away with a jackpot. Azuwu and Leaf left wondering what the hell just happened to our B-hold. Decimated, firstly by the HEs, then a couple of kills from a Galil and a Tech 9. The rest is history. Viperio will find 8.
Well, 1pin caught sleeping at the wheel there a little bit, I think. Like you said, right? Nice little nade set up to come through to get the first, but then the second, the follow-up, the very fast execute onto that B site, they get completely overrun. And I think that this also really speaks to the preparation of Viperio as well, realizing what 1pin setups tend to look like, what they can expect to see out of them, and where they might be able to find some of those players, some of those early frags. Just really well played, given, like you said, right? You can't even call that a low buy. It was a few upgraded pistols and I think one hero rifle, and they managed to come out on top of it. So very, very impressive stuff there. And 1pin again back down onto their own kind of kitchen sink buy. Not too much to work with here. That's not terrible. They do have to sacrifice a little bit of utility, unfortunately, and some of that head armor. But for the most part, it's definitely serviceable. We'll see if they can bring things back into their control as Viperio, well, they confirm themselves the lead at the half.
Azu. I mean, I like this. Getting proactive and close quarters with an SMG. Great nade. Landing flush to Giraffe. MMS will get taken down. Shine actually finding a collat with the AWP. There was a tag up onto MMS, the player behind. Artist and Gizmy, both with kills. It's a 3v3, so shaping up in favour of Viperio. Ooh. There's all the appliances thrown at each other in this round. 2v2, bomb goes down, Artist. Oh, got to get the smoke out quick because there's someone on long. Leaf will find it through the smoke. Now Gizmy in the clutch. Does Azu expect him coming in from cave? No. Now, of course, the rifler positioned on ramp. He's going to throw a smoke out. More importantly, this gives him a bit of space to work with. He can move around the right-hand side, use it as a one-way, and he will do exactly that. Executing the opposition. 9-4, Viperio lead massively.
I kind of felt for Leaf in that final engagement there, right? Like, the final kill came down towards long, but is he going to come through main? Is he going to flank up through Jaguar? You're not 100% sure what direction he's going to come in, and unfortunately, checking the wrong angle. Gets caught, backpack, peeks through the smoke. And that's Gizmy clutching out the round for Viperio. And another important round that 1pin really needed to come out on top of, because now, of course, back down onto pistols. Christian's got a Zeus for himself. We'll see if he can make something happen with that one. But Viperio very, very handedly and steadily taking this lead, and it's not looking too good for 1pin at the moment. This is, of course, Viperio's map pick, so small caveat on that, but you definitely hope for 1pin to do a little bit better than this.
Hoping so. I mean, Azu is, just testing his spacebar works, apparently. I don't quite know what the plan was there, Oscar, but it's alright, mate. It's alright. It's an eco. It's probably the one round you can get away with doing something like that. Nonetheless, of course, the round goes as we would expect. It's kind of like the most formal eco. Maybe a couple of kills can be found by 1pin. I'm expecting a Zeus kill from Christian. Now he's, setting up with it. There goes his teammate. Yeah, there we have it. Scores out. And there you go, right? A $200 investment. You do $3,700 for the AK armor. I think Gizmy had a little bit of utility, For a $200 investment, you've just done $4,000 in damage. That's, fair bit of profit, fair decent chunk done, and ultimately heading into the last half, not that financially it matters too much because Gizmy can just get a drop. Had it been a little earlier in the half, it would have had, I think, bigger implications. Another tack pause probably coming in for 1pin here, heading into number 15.
Yeah, I mean, I think 1pin, they definitely want to come out on top of this round. So having this would at least give them a little bit of extra wiggle room into the next round. But a 5-round CT side is not ideal. I'll be curious to see what that T side looks like. There have been instances of some teams that just have a flaky CT side, even on a CT-sided map. So perhaps we have a situation like that with 1pin, and maybe they can pull themselves towards themselves a little bit coming into the second half. And then it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for them, but at least they come into this last round of the half with a fairly decent setup. So at least got a little something to back it up. And hopefully they don't get overrun this time. Viperio have done a really good job of being very dynamic in their approaches.
Christian positioned in cave on his own, able to get the kill and escape. Not to mention, Leaf is trying to provide a bit of a workaround towards cave. Does that exactly. Ping does get the trade-off eventually. Shine. Oh, this is such a sick position. Giraffe's going to check Donut. Right place, right time for the M4. And of course, the AWP was already moving in, thinking the A site was barren. Instead, Artist now going to try and pick a gunfight, but Shine's already slipped away from the site hold and positions himself a little more passive. But a 2v3 is not impossible here for Viperio, especially when Ping's hitting shots like that. 2v2. Oh, Ping. How sick is that? Zuru, last man standing. Wondering where his team went. The bomb's making its way back around towards B. Azu gambles towards A. Unfortunate, my friend. You will not be finding a bomb denial in this round. And the long drawn-out rotate might be cut short because Ping's got himself in red room. Going to be holding the CT rotate. Checking out mid every now and again. Just making sure he doesn't get timinged. Viperio, this is an 11th under lock and key from an 11-4 half. That is looking insane here for Viperio.
And it's heartbreaking for 1pin because they started out this round so well, and as we headed into the mid-round, things just started to fall apart a little bit. Now Azu knows for 100% sure it is going to be the B plant. He has to go for this. He has to shift walk a little bit here. Doesn't want his position 100% known, but the swing! Ooh, he's able to snap onto that himself. Now 1 versus 1 against Artist with that AWP in his hands, 22 HP and a dream, and he has to clutch this out for 1pin.
Having a check out. What can he do? Taps the bomb. Doesn't stick it. Artist will gun him down with a Tech 9. It's 11-4 at the halftime whistle here for Viperio on the CT side. They should be able to close out the show. Can they get it done? We'll find out after the break. Don't go anywhere.
My exes and me, we don't talk anymore. If we did, I think it would get pretty ugly. They made me believe love's an open door. In the beginning, then they shut it pretty quickly. I thought we were good, at
Well, first half done and dusted. Not the position that OnePin wanted to find themselves in. Retro, you're the stat man. Give me the stats. What are we looking at here?
It's difficult. It is very, very difficult for OnePin to get back into this game. We were having a chat during the break, and I pulled up an interesting stat for you. This would be the 4th ever time a team has won from an 11-4 deficit starting on that CT side, or in general an 11-4 deficit. So certainly not looking likely here for OnePin, but it's not impossible. It's been proven before. A pistol win is necessary, though, to get them on the right foot.
It's going to be absolutely pivotal to give them that little bit of a chance at a snowball. As OnePin very, very quickly make their way up through mid into that CT spawn. They could come face to face here with Artist. I thought they were going to go B. No, they wrap around over towards the A site instead. And good call, as they now have control of the site. Viperio find themselves in a retake.
In a bomb plant at least is good, but as you said, working from a man deficit, not ideal. Nice shot from Gizmy. Artist finding another. Viperio want to make this one punctual and snappy as it's just Leaf left. Does find himself the first, but it is a 1v3. Artist is coming in from behind, and the fight, it doesn't matter if he dies. The kit, 5-second stick. MMS has held it. It's a brilliant round for Viperio. 12-4 now, and even though Leaf finds the last, Viperio going to be laughing now. 4 rounds away from taking the first map.
I've actually seen a fair amount of discussion about whether or not you buy a kit in a pistol round or well, pistol rounds essentially, or ecos. That is a perfect example of why it's probably not a bad idea to have at least one. Because if you didn't have a kit there's potentially enough time to swing around and get that last kill. But Defuse comes in far too quickly. And unfortunately, the round that OnePin desperately needed slips away from them. Bomb plant gives them a little bit of extra cash, and of course they will invest heavily into this round to try and bring things back.
MMS gonna hear all the noise. Can't actually find any kills. Azu takes a large chunk of damage. It's Artist that finds the first kill for the Viperio side. Ping does get his response as well, but Leaf's double kill, putting the numbers back in favor of the OnePin side. Decent set of flashbangs as well to keep the CTs off these angles, but Gizmy as he emerges in the smoke. Christian doesn't spot him. 2v2, bomb dropped as well. Transfer could be looking good for Shine. Deagle nearly finds the clutch. It's a 13th on the board for Viperio. Not going to happen.
Another round that starts off reasonably well for OnePin, but just can't find the stability they need to keep that going. This is so rough. I honestly don't know how they come back from this. You know, that scoreline, we said how important that pistol was going to be, and now Viperio only need a handful of rounds to get themselves across the finish line. OnePin only have Deagles to work with, and not terribly much else.
Ideal. Ping. Waiting for the molly to fade that MP9. Could be raking in mega cash, which would be nice for Viperio. You know, get an AWP out if they wanted to. Other way, it's an M4. Giraffe. Got to be cautious here. Yeah. Shine thinking about it. Smoke dropped back in towards B doors, and this is just very well played from Viperio. Just keeping these pistols at bay, allowing the MP9s to kind of close the gap and play for these closer ranged engagements. There's your first kill. Ping tucked in. Christian, I don't think will spot him. As he runs and checks the angle or relies on his teammate to have a look. Ping gonna hear the steps. Now he engages, and there you go. More kills for the SMG. Shine's the last man left. Not happening here. It will be a 14th on the board for the CT side. 2 away from finding victory here in map 1.
There's great patience from Viperio. Knowing they don't need to push out, they don't need to take space if they don't want to, you know. They have the gun advantage, they're on the CT side, they just wait it out. And sure, they'll lose a player or two, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't do terribly much. OnePin now finally going to be able to buy in, and this is going to put them in a really tight one, because if they lose this round, they're on match point, and they're down to, like, maybe upgraded pistols, right? This is a must-win. We've said that about a few rounds, but realistically, this is the must-win.
Well, yeah, to stay alive, I think I'd argue. Yeah. I'd argue, you know, probably at like 5-6-0, there was a must-win round, and
for sure,
kind of spiraled out of control a bit. For OnePin, couldn't really get themselves started on the CT side, and the collateral damage to that is exactly what you're seeing here, right? It's a stomp. MMS drops a smoke in ramp. Notice how Viperio, the game plan has changed a bit, right? Trying to take less fights and use more utility to keep the one-pin boys at bay. Docs walking into the MP9, a smoke up to create the illusion that Ping's trying to evacuate from cave. Does stick around, and Christian will know about it, punishes him with the HE. Ultimately, though, I don't think there's going to be much difference to the outcome of this round. He wasn't exactly a healthy Viperio player. You're looking at these rifles to do the rest of the damage here. 45 seconds left on the clock.
Nice positioning towards mid from Azuwu. This could create a really solid lurk if he times it right, but they need to stay alive in on the site, and with that kill onto Artist, it's a good start to that. They do have control. Bomb still hasn't made its way over towards the site just yet. They're playing this very, very cautiously, and if they don't make a decision here, that could turn around to bite them.
B2. Not ideal for Viperio. Probably would have wanted to done it in a little more of a convincing fashion. Bomb set down. Giving it a good go here, these rifles, but obviously you can see they're boxed in by a bit of a flank. Azu comes through middle, holding now behind. Viperio, they are stuck. No way out. Shine finds the first. Nice shot from Gizmy to at least do some more damage. The round going the one-pin way. Makes it a 5th at least.
The stay of execution that they needed gives them that little bit of extra cash as well, so they'll have a strong buy into this round. In Viperio, I mean, their cash, despite winning quite a few rounds consecutively, they haven't been able to build up much of a buffer here. OnePin have tried to keep it relatively expensive, so even into this round, still going to be a little bit broken. I will say I still kind of favor them a little bit just because, you know, they had such a smashing T side. They are on the CT side. They are a phenomenal set of players, but we'll see. You know, OnePin had a really good round in the previous. Maybe they can replicate that again.
Ping, gonna get flashed in. Introducing the Viperio side to the idea of some ramp control. Docs gonna be walking into an unsmoked double door, so he does get taken down. Christian in the corner. Ping would have spotted him, but now playing in this pocket position, it's gonna be difficult to Ping to escape. In a smoke. There's his lineups, and well, able to get out of that fight, but ultimately still a 4v4 for Viperio. No real information either as to what OnePin's ideas are.
I like the slower play from OnePin. I think it can work, but they've given up a lot of this map control over to Viperio. Viperio, however, seems to be getting a little bit paranoid or neurotic. Not 100% sure of what to expect, where these players might be. Oh, that's a good position from Leaf. Waiting for someone to attempt to lurk in. That's going to give a numbers advantage over to OnePin. It's exactly what they needed. Now they need to press that advantage as Viperio begin to overrun that B site. They don't want to allow that bomb to go down.
Nicely done, Ping! Holds his nerve for a double. 28 seconds left. Not like OnePin have much choice other than to go B. It had to be a run towards Donut if they wanted to win this round. Gizmy not going to get mollied off. Azu will try and plant in the smoke. Giraffe will find one more. Viperio map point.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. I love that positioning from Leaf. That was honestly so instrumental to maintaining control here. You know, it comes down to that 4v4. They're looking for that advantage. They're looking for that opening. And Viperio do such a good job of then stabilizing that. They lose a player. They realize they're at a bit of a deficit, so they need to push out a little bit, try and catch them off guard. They take the aggressive push out of B main, and they start to whittle away at those last surviving players. A fantastic round for Viperio, and it puts OnePin back down into a very, very tough spot. It's not going to be a full buy. They've had to sacrifice quite a bit of utility as well because they just don't have the money, and immediately they lose Leaf, who has been such a key player.
Gives me one more to the books. Azu will eventually fall to the USP, and it looks damn good for Viperio. Their pick, their snag. It's going to be a map up to none unless Docs has more in his locker. It's a nice first shot, but as he enters Temple, MMS waits, and MMS will claim. Viperio have themselves their map win. A 16-5 victory means they are a map up to none here in this best of 3. We're going to find out if they're able to make it a 2-0. We've got map 2 up next. It's Dust 2. Don't go anywhere.
You Keep pulling me closer, but don't waste your time. Don't have any time for